In today's episode, I'm going to share with you how to create epic events that builds high cash months. Now, for those of you that don't know, running epic online free events in my business has been the biggest income generator for me and also the biggest income generator for my clients. This strategy and this process is so powerful. It supported me to build to over $1 million organically just through running events. It supported my clients to have incredible launches and results, such as 30 sales calls booked within just 2 hours of finishing their event. It supported them to create 50, 30, 40, 70K events. It supported them to fill up their group coaching programs. It supported them to go full time, and it supported them to make more money from just one event than it took them in a whole year's worth of work using other strategies. So when you get running impactful, epic, free, or even paid virtual online events in your coaching business, it's going to make growing your business sustainable. It's going to make it simple if you have a proven process. And it's going to make it really scalable. This is why I have so much freedom inside my business, why I have a clear calendar most days of the week. It's currently a Thursday afternoon as I'm recording this, and I've got no calls for the day. And I also had no calls yesterday, and I've got no calls tomorrow. And it's because I've built my whole business model through events that's given me so much spaciousness in my calendar, because I follow this one specific process and formula and I've mastered it to a T. I know that by running an event just once per month, even roughly once every 6 weeks, I know that that's going to bring me the most dream and aligned clients possible, making it so much worth my time and my effort and my energy. So I want to first share with you, before I share how to do it, it's actually how I came about this strategy. So I have been running events from day one in my business. It was the very first thing I did to sign my first clients. And that's another really great thing about running events, is that it supports you to generate your first client, your first 10K, your first 20K, your first 30K, and your first 100K in your business and beyond, right? It works across the test of time, which is really important. Events has also always worked in every single industry, It's how Apple launches their new products. It's how Tesla, through Elon Musk, launches their new products. It's what all of the top CEOs and experts do when they're launching things, whether that's a product or a service, is they run a epic event, typically free, but it can also be paid. You can do it in person, you could do it online, you could do it evergreen, you could do it live. There's lots of ways you can run these events. There's pros and cons for all of them that I'm not going to go into today, but that's just to paint a picture that this is not one of these fleeting trends or algorithm hacks and, these unsustainable approaches. This is something that has always worked and always will work, okay? That connection, the value, the energy is always going to work, okay? So here's how I actually figured it out though. So instinctively and intuitively, it was one of the first things I did in my business, but then I got so caught up by other people's messaging and marketing online that I thought I was missing some secret to success. So the first couple of years of my business, I was investing in so many courses and programs and masterminds and inner circles and events to learn the secret strategies to success. And I got exhausted. I was doing things that didn't feel aligned. I was doing things that were very costly in my time, my energy, my effort. And I thought, there's got to be a better way. So one day I sat down and I looked at what all of these experts and CEOs have in common that I had invested in. I'm like, they're all saying something completely different. So what's actually in common with them all that's making them successful? I researched for hours and hours and looked at everything I had learned from investing over $100,000 at that point in different coaches and mentors. And I asked myself one question: how did they actually make money? Okay. And then I had this huge aha moment. And I noticed that there were 3 things in common actually, but one in common that I'm going to share with you today. And that is that they were all running events. No matter the niche they had, no matter the social media platform they used, no matter their stage in business, there was one thing in common, and that was that they were running these epic events. I realized the actual thing that generated the sales wasn't the dancing on TikToks, it wasn't the Instagram reels or the posting in different Facebook groups. It was the virtual events that they all ran that were the common denominator. Like even the Instagram coach gurus were selling their Instagram course programs via an event, not via Instagram. And when I realized this, everything changed. This is where I finally cracked the code on what made business easy, what made business fun, what made business sustainable and scalable all at once. Tony Robbins, I'm sure you know him, runs epic events. Dean Graziosi, Alex Hormozi, Russell Brunson, Denise Duffield-Thomas, Jenna Kutcher, Amy Porterfield, Marie Forleo, Lewis Howes, Brendan Bouchard, Mel Robbins, all of these people, they run events. Steve Jobs, when he announces new products, runs events. Elon Musk, when he launches a new Tesla car, runs an event. Taylor Swift is a billionaire because she's mastered the power of running events, which is like concerts as well. It's the same thing. And it's, something I really want to share here is that if you don't master how to run highly converting and authentic events, your audience will eventually forget about you. Your open rates will go down. Your engagement rates will drop. People that you spent months getting inside your audience will actually wonder who you even are, and they will focus on competitors in your niche who are way less qualified and way less experienced than you are, only because they mastered the live events formula. You see, live events are where the attention is, and attention is the key currency of success in the coaching industry. So there are 3 key components that go into mastering this epic events formula that I'm talking to you about today, if you want to run them smoothly and generate incredible results. First, you need a plan. Second of all, you need a promotion strategy. And third, you need to know how to present. Everyone can run an event, but if they aren't running free virtual events that feel effortless and generate 6 figures, meaning $100,000 and beyond, where they attract dream clients each event, then there's room for growth and mastery. So let me break down those 3 things. A plan. If you want to get out of your sales plateau and make 30 to 100K months, you must have a plan in place, right? Strategy is important. Having a clear plan is very important. A lot of coaches don't have a very clear plan, and a tangible plan for that matter, of action to generate results. There are a number of things that I teach my clients when it comes to planning their events properly, but here are 3 for you right now. Number 1, having one overarching point that you want to get across. Number 2, knowing how to deliver a high quality presentation that captures your audience presence. And number 3, knowing how, what, and when to pitch your program. Number 2 is having that promotion strategy. So a lot of coaches want to run successful events, but don't prioritize the promotion and wonder why they don't get the signups that they were after. Knowing exactly when and how to promote your event is essential to ensure that you have maximum exposure. To do this, we want to focus on 3 key things: the frequency and the length of your launches so that it is customized to your goals and lifestyle. We also want to focus on the formula of your launches so that you know exactly what to do in each of the 4 phases of a launch, which very quickly is the pre-launch, the pre-launch, the launch week, and the cart open phase. And then the third thing when it comes to promoting your events to generate success is the urgency during launches to promote signups, show-ups, and the audience playing full out throughout the event. And the third piece to running these epic events is the presenting. So once you have planned and promoted your event, it's finally time to present it powerfully. Here, you focus on how to show up to the best of your ability throughout the entire event. Most coaches actually don't have a fear of public speaking, but actually a fear of not knowing what to say. When you have a script and build the confidence to present effectively, presenting becomes fun and easy. To do this well, there are 3 things to master: your energy throughout the event, how to present if it's a live event, and how to present if it's an evergreen event. Okay, so take my client Georgia, for example. She is a financial and location freedom coach, and she made £24,000 on her first ever virtual event using my 3-step formula. She had a personalized plan for her signature presentation and launch. She had a very specific promotion strategy tailored to her launch goals, and she mastered the power of presenting highly impactful signature presentations. And that was from her first event. She is now a financial and location freedom coach, which speaks for itself. She has financial freedom, she has location freedom, she's living an incredible life, and it's because she runs these epic events. Now, a couple of mistakes that I see coaches make when it comes to events is coaches finding events and launches exhausting and overwhelming. So if that's you, then I want to address here right now that the main reason coaches find this to be the case is that they are highly unprepared. So when you are winging events without a formula to follow, then yes, just like anything, it will be exhausting and overwhelming. You know, they're scrambling last minute to finish off their sales page. They're preparing their presentation slides the night before. They have no content ready for their cart open. They have no email marketing strategy in place, and they aren't sure how to pitch their program at the end. I teach my clients a simple 14-step process for creating their events. And once you've done the work to set it up once, it's smooth sailing and energizing, which is the opposite of exhausting. Another big mistake that I see coaches make is coaches being afraid of having no one show up to their event or purchase post-event. I remember when I first ran my event without a proper roadmap. You know, I was guessing, I was winging it. I just felt intuitively drawn to do it. And it took me years and years to master it. And my aim was through this episode, but then also through working with me, that you bridge that gap a lot faster than it took me, because I had to invest so much time and money and effort and energy to figure it out, right? I'm bridging this gap for you, right? But when I ran my first event without a roadmap, I didn't have very many people show up, and I felt really discouraged from running one again, to be honest. But what I was missing at the time was actually specific momentum marketing strategies that I now have in place that have helped me build to over $1 million. I don't have a huge audience, but I do have a high quality audience, which means whatever I put out, my audience tends to follow. And this is what I teach my clients so that they can do the same. And one more mistake that I'll share with you that I often see coaches make is coaches over-teaching and giving their best stuff away for free, okay? So the thing is that when you over-teach and you give too much how-to content, it can actually overwhelm your audience, which turns them away, or you have given them the false impression that they can solve their problem by themselves, and they think that they don't need you anymore. Their mentality becomes, wow, this was so good, I'm going to go away on my own and implement this first. And the problem is that they've actually only seen 10% of what creates success. What they actually need is the 90% that lies beneath the surface that they could only learn inside your program, just like an iceberg. The reality is, even if you wanted to, you could never give everything in one single presentation or one single podcast or one single free live video or training or post, right? The real juice, the implementation, the support, the in-depth and the full step-by-step process is inside your program. So you actually want to share the what and the why more so than the how-to in your event. I'm not saying don't make it value and don't give any how-to. You just don't want to give or attempt to give everything away, because you couldn't even if you tried, and you don't want people walking away thinking that they can just do it on their own. I remember, I've now worked with my coach for like 2 or 3 years now. I can't even keep up. And I remember when I first found her podcast, I was like, wow, I'm never going to buy from her. She's just giving away all this amazing stuff. And what happened is, I got stuck eventually. I got really stuck. And it was because I didn't have the full process. And then I started working with her because of the value I had received, and I trusted her. When I started working with her, I actually got the full process, so much behind the scenes that I didn't even realize was missing from her podcast episodes or her posts. And that's when I really started to succeed. So just keep that in mind. But running an event on its own won't work. You can't just go and run an event tomorrow and expect to make millions. There are 2 other essential components that go into making events work perfectly. You must have and master all 3 of these pillars. And if you dabble in one or more, you're actually going to struggle to scale. If you feel like it would honestly feel like you're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Who resonates with that? I'm sure we've all been there. And if that feels like you right now, then I'm willing to bet that you either are not using one or more of these pillars that I teach, or you simply haven't mastered them. So the other 2 pillars are a seamless sales process and momentum marketing strategies. When you pair that with epic events, that's what actually allows you to scale. And if you want help with not only your events, but also with your seamless sales process and also with your momentum marketing strategies, then I want to invite you to book a free roadmap call with me, where I will have it with you, and I will help you get clear on where you're at in your business, what your biggest pain points are that's struggling, keeping your business in a bottleneck and it's why you're struggling to grow. And I'm going to give you a 3-step roadmap plan on what to do from here using my signature process, the 6-figure event method, which is the combination of epic events, momentum marketing, and seamless sales. If you want one of these calls, we have very limited spots and availability because it is me that takes these calls personally, and I pour a lot of research and time into each individual. So if you want to work with me, or if you want to learn more about this process and how to implement it into your business, then I want to invite you to book this call. All you need to do is just click the link below, see if you can find a time that is available. If there's no times, we've run out of spots. They always fill out. So click below, find a time. It'll show in your time zone. And I can't wait to support you to be able to grow and scale your coaching business sustainably using this process. I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could take a moment to spread the word so I can continue to create episodes such as this each week. By leaving a review on the podcast, I'd love to gift you my Rising Coach Method Assessment Training Plus Workbook, where you will be able to audit your entire business using the Rising Coach Method. Here, you will find out exactly what you need to improve to be able to grow and scale your business further. Once you've left a review, DM me on Instagram at Sofia Rose Bernardi, and I will send you this training and workbook that is exclusively for my podcast listeners. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.